listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Good morning. This is the Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. I'm not Frank Skinner, as it goes. My name's Emily Dean, and I'm standing in for Frank this morning. He's decided to spend a bit more time with his family. And he asks that you give him the space and privacy that he needs at this time. That's not true at all. I think, what's he doing, guys? Is he filming some Would I Lie to You Buzzcocks thing? I don't know.
I think he's doing one of those Tough Mudder runs where they run across obstacles and through like trenches with mud in them, and I think he's doing one of those.
He'll be good at that. So he's not here, but I am joined this morning by the Cockerel, who's back.
Morning.
And Gareth.
Hello.
It's like having an ex and a current in the studio, which is kind of a bit orcs, but I rather like it.
It does feel orcs, yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Hello, Gareth.
Hello, Alan.
Arms across the ocean there.
That was the most awkward thing I've ever had. Hello, Gareth. Hello, Alan.
Well, it wasn't even hello, Alan. He forgot my name partway through this. Hello, Alan.
I was trying to undermine you.
It worked.
I'm in Emily's seat. Emily.
That's a good start. You can't even pronounce my name.
Going this morning, Gareth.
100%.
Do you know what this is like? This is like when, I think when David Cameron and Michael Howard are sort of forced to walk together at the Cenotaph or something. I'm enjoying it. You're back from your little show in Edinburgh.
I am, yes. Hello. How's it been?
You're not supposed to call it the little show, Emily.
No.
Are you not?
I think that's the thing I do to other people all the time.
Frank never minds it when I do that. I should say I haven't done my housekeeping.
Oh, yeah, do your housekeeping.
So, Gareth,
Sorry.
you can't talk over me. That's the rule of the show. You can text the show on 81215. What can you text the show on, Gareth?
81215.
Very good. You can follow the show on Twitter, which is @FrankOnTheRadio. You can email the show, but no one ever does that because it seems a bit old school.
Email? We get some, don't
Yeah. We should say we were a bit chaotic this morning, aren't we?
Are we?
Well, we are, because we came into the studio and a lovely guy who's a DJ here called, is it George? He looks about 9. I mean, he's lovely, but he looks like my child.
He does really look very young.
Seriously. And he was in here running everything, and I couldn't quite sort of get organised this morning. And I think I might have said something earlier on air. So if you heard me speak, I do apologise for that.
I don't think you said anything like, you know,
I didn't swear. I didn't use anything bad.
I think you said, "Can they hear me?" Which, I mean, that has been proven somewhat right, if they can.
I ask that every day of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know who we need to talk about this morning?
Emily Dean.
No, obviously me. Kanye West.
Oh, Kanye.
He can.
Yes.
He's been up to his old tricks again.
Well, hang on. By his old tricks, what would you describe them as?
Well, I tell you what I would describe them as. I would say it's like a child who's drunk too much Sunny Delight.
Yeah.
That's Kanye's old tricks. Because he was at the VMAs.
Who wasn't?
Yes. Are you familiar with the VMAs, Gareth?
The Video Music Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Is that what it is?
Yes. But he made a very great fool of himself.
What?
He did.
I haven't read that.
Well, he got an award.
Mm-hmm.
What was the award, Gareth? You're the showbiz correspondent.
A lifestyle achievement. A lifestyle
achievement.
Can I just say also, it's been a bit fraught in studio. I had no idea we were going on air at this point. Because normally doesn't Frank do a, hello, this is Absolute Radio and with Frank, let's play a song at the start.
Oh, let's spend all morning talking about what Frank does, shall we? I'm
Did
sorry.
the show catch you on the hop by starting at 8 o'clock, Gareth?
Yes, a little bit. A little bit. It was a Video Vanguard Award.
Oh.
Very good knowledge, excellent.
Yeah, and it's like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Well, it's
he thought he would mark that occasion.
I believe it was a Lifestyle Achievement Award.
Lifestyle Achievement, thank you.
The Video Vanguard Award sounds like he's got like a sideline turtle wax business, doesn't it? That he that you could just give your transit a rub. No,
he went
Vanguard.
No, we understand it. We like
guys.
it.
Or like security for vans.
Yeah, exactly.
We are going to give you Love Cockerel.
We're going to workshop that.
It's just going to take us a bit of time to warm up.
Ooh.
It's like the beginning of a swingers party. Everyone just has to get to know each other.
I mean, I don't know anything about that.
We have to do some shots. So anyway, yeah, he started off, he did a speech, he talked about buying juice with his
It
children.
was a long speech, wasn't it? Didn't he really?
It was long.
He prattled on.
Yeah. He questioned some of his previous lifestyle choices.
Well, because the big news was that Taylor Swift gave him the award, presented him with the award. And they've had previous, haven't they? Because he interrupted her speech of getting the video award and said that Beyonce should have got it instead.
Yeah.
So that was a big...
I believe he threw shade at her.
He what?
He threw shade. Don't you know what the kids say?
No, is that what they say?
That's the lighting man's fault, surely.
No, no, it's called throwing shade, isn't it, girls? The young people in the studio will know. So he questioned whether he should have worn a leather shirt.
I mean, that's a question that must have been in his head every day since wearing the leather shirt, surely.
Yeah, I can answer it for him. The answer is no.
No, shouldn't have worn a leather shirt.
No human being should ever wear a leather shirt.
Right.
Cowboys exempt. Hairdressers? Because I think the hair doesn't stick on them.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
He also said, he asked a rhetorical question. He said, would I have drunk a half bottle of Hennessy and given the rest to the audience?
Is that alcohol?
Yeah, is Hennessy like some kind of...
Sorry, are you
brandy
Amish,
stuff?
Gareth? Is that alcohol?
Because, they have...
What's this, Cockroach?
rappers like the Courvoisier, don't they?
Oh, they love to
is that how
pass the
you say it?
Courvoisier.
Is that what they say? Yeah.
Yeah, they pass the
Is that
Courvoisier.
alcohol?
I think it would be in the same bit of that boozy section, wouldn't it? It must be like a brandy or some kind of strong liquor. But I like the fact that he's boasting about having only drank half of it,
I know.
and then he shared it like man of
Shared
the
it with the
people.
audience. He said, I shared it with the audience, and don't tell me you didn't have some.
I don't
Thank you,
understand
Jenny.
what he was objecting to. Was he objecting in a cockerel style way
Oh yeah.
to having given it to the audience, to having shared it?
Oh, you think?
Because he's counting the pennies.
Maybe. I mean, if he is starting counting the pennies, then he's going to be there for a while. He's worth $130 million, apparently.
Okay, more Kanye in a minute.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner Show, FYI, and I'm Emily Dean, and I'm standing in for Frank this morning, and I'm with the lovely Cockerel and what's your name, Gareth? Yeah.
Gareth Richards.
I like that you really obediently replied
Yeah.
rather than saying "you rude woman." You went Gareth Richards.
I'm used to it. What's your name? Who are you? What are you doing here?
We're talking about Kanye, is what we're doing here. And he did something extraordinary.
We should say that what we haven't actually said is that he announced his running for presidency.
His candidacy.
I mean, we got a bit distracted by the leather shirt. Oh, should I or shouldn't I have admission?
He went a
But
bit
we
proof-rock.
Overlooked
Little
one
one
of
for the literary types there.
one of the more spectacular announcements of his career, which is full of them, I'm led to believe. But he's running for president. And I mean, did you take it seriously? Do you think he is running for president? I think he might be.
I'll tell you what I worry about. I worry that
With Kanye.
I worry that Kanye doesn't realise it's a little bit more complicated than that. You can't just say, I'm running for president 2020. Drop the mic.
I think he thinks life is pretty uncomplicated. He seems like an uncomplicated figure.
Ow, there are papers to be filed with the Federal Election Commission. There's
Yeah.
all sorts of admin that you need to do.
I think the admin would be the bit that would get on top of him. I've often felt like it would rule me out from a career in politics, but the admin I definitely think would be beyond Kanye.
Yeah.
He said that he'd smoked something before going on just to take the edge off his nerves.
I believe
And then-
he said, yes, I rolled up a little something.
Right.
That is good because presidential candidates often get asked if they've ever taken
Yeah,
substances.
Yes.
Nip it in the bud straight
Yeah.
away. He's
Yes.
Literally.
exactly, yeah. I wonder if that's his way. I think he might actually be really shrewd, and he's said
Yes.
he's already said,
Get it
"Look,
all out the way with."
Yeah, get it out the way with. And immediately you can see it. Once you start thinking like that he's thinking like a politician, you see when he gets up there and he gets on the mic and he's like, should I have worn the leather shirt? He's trying to get the vegan vote. Isn't he? Straight away he's like, oh, I made a few
Hang on.
mistakes in the past.
Who's he
Vegans
appealing
vote
to
for
with
me.
the shouldn't have drunk that bottle of Hennessy?
Yeah.
Who's that to? Frank in the 90s?
Teetotalers.
Sorry, Frank,
AA.
we love you.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get
Yes,
some of the
that's
Tea
right.
Party
AA.
involved. Yeah. He's very cunning, hasn't
Yes.
he?
Can I just say also, we're going to have a little bit of a wardrobe overhaul as well if you're going to be running for POTUS.
Probably got some suits, but I'll bet he doesn't have many shirts.
You can't wear an old beige wrinkled t-shirt and tracksuit bottoms.
but I bet
There's
he's one of those
suits to be bought. It's a big
those
job.
rap dudes that just wear suits with nothing under. You know, like just
No,
showing off.
actually.
What do you mean? What you mean?
look-
As Frank calls it, the Frankenstein's monster approach to dressing, where you just have the suit and no tie
Yeah.
or shirt. I find that rather erotic.
Do
may
you?
I say? Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm dressed like this morning, Emily, for you.
God, I hadn't even looked over. And
Yeah. Let's talk about how you're dressed this morning.
Just a tux, just a jacket.
In a minute. Yeah.
No, Emily,
Yes, Gareth.
safari colours are very in this season.
Thank you, Karl Lagerfeld, our fashion correspondent there. Yeah, he's gone a bit strange on the clothing front though. I don't know why.
Kanye.
Yeah.
It looked like he was wearing an outsized linen t-shirt and trousers, didn't it? Like
It's all
something
very,
like that.
the colour is very ecru. It's very Star Wars. I'm calling it
Ecru.
Tatooine chic.
Yes, yeah.
Is what it is.
Some amazing footage of him laughing. I'd never seen him laugh before. I never thought he was a person that, like, got humour or had humour or that humour had ever been existed in a room that he was in. As soon as I saw a photo of him laughing, I thought, who did that to him? Who made Kanye actually laugh? I can't imagine a set of circumstances that would come up where he would actually giggle.
I think the way that what they've done to make him not do something crazy is that they've given him a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Right.
I think that's put a smile on his face, and also it was the only way they could get him to not interrupt Taylor Swift.
Right.
Was to have her present him with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh yes, then he won't interrupt.
No, but let her speak.
But is it such a bad thing if he's president?
I think it
it'd
would
be
be fine. I
amazing.
like him. I mean, he's a very positive man, so I honestly believe.
Is he
that-
actually?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He's very optimistic,
Right.
upbeat.
Oh, Gareth's
He's
turned
got
into a strange
self-confidence.
Kanye
He's definitely got the
apologist.
I love
self-confidence.
Kanye West.
I'm not going to challenge you on the self-confidence thing. He's
Oh,
definitely
he's
got
confident,
that.
all right.
He's self-confident, so I think, in a way, he believes we should all be running for president all the time.
Yes.
He announced his candidacy for presidency in a t-shirt and trousers. He's got self-confidence. I don't think there's any doubt there.
I loved him saying he smoked something to take a little edge off it. It's like, what, you bulldozed it off and left a load of rubble.
I just like the idea of him being president. Who would his running mate? They have a running mate as well, don't they? That's usually like a senior political figure. But Kanye,
I got it.
Who is it? Who?
50 Cent
Brilliant.
in the club.
He'd be in charge of the economy, obviously.
Yeah, well, he's done all right for himself.
50 Cent, he knows the value of $1 and a half dollar. He'd be perfect
At
for
least
it.
$1.
My car, my crib, my clothes. Hello.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. I'm your worst nightmare. We
mine.
are talking about Kanye West.
Well, actually, we've got some news just in by text message. 974 has texted 50 Cent was just declared bankrupt.
Did he? What
Fiddy.
about his car and his crib?
Yeah, I think his crib went up for sale.
Oh, has
Big-
it been repossessed by the Inland Revenue?
Big crib.
Oh, they don't call it
He had
that.
a big crib that, yeah, I think it's...
All right.
So maybe he's not the ideal running
It's
mate.
the admin
for-
that gets them. It's the admin.
It's always the
It's always
admin.
the admin.
It's honestly so hard.
They always blame the lawyers as well, don't
Imagine being Kanye and having $130 million. The admin of just keeping track on the interest and what's in what pot.
they? Yeah.
Just mini cash ISAs alone. He must be tormented, that man. Tormented. I
And what
don't
about
feel
the
sorry for
residence
him, but-
parking permit? I
Oh,
mean,
on all those vehicles?
he's got a lot of vehicles.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think he would be an interesting president because there's a lot of things. You know, presidents, they obviously draw on what they've experienced, and I believe that he's had quite a bad car crash in the past, and
Yeah.
also, so he might be
I
quite
thought
a
that
big.
was 50 Cent. Oh no, he was shot 9 times.
Yeah, he would probably be a big gun campaigner,
Hmm.
but I think Kanye would probably be like a big road safety dude because of the car crash and that time that he walked into that lamppost with the road sign on it. Did you see that?
That was when
bit
he
of
was wearing the
footage?
leather shirt.
Both, he's going to become an anti-leather. I love the fact that he mentions the leather shirt, but not, hey guys, watch out for those road signs when you're walking, because you could really smash your face off one like I did. It's almost like he's going, Remember that leather shirt? You don't remember anything else about that day, do you? You just remember the leather shirt. It's Darren Brown in everyone.
I'm glad that he picked up on the leather shirt, though, because it's been troubling me. But, you know, that wasn't the only thing to kick off at the VMAs.
Was there other kerfuffles?
There was more shade being thrown. Notice the way my voice goes up at the end of that, because that's what all young people do.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't met any for about 20 years.
It makes you sound really bright.
There was one just DJing.
Oh, don't. He's a lovely child. So, now, I'll tell you who there was. It was Miley Cyrus.
Mm-hmm.
You know the one that you always want to put her in a nice onesie and stick her by the fireside? She doesn't wear much, does she?
No. She looks chilly.
Well, she looks like she's wearing one of those operation sort of gowns all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just as you think it's all right. It's what Frank always calls when people dress like that. He says, obviously got a lot of faith in your material. Anyway, she had a run-in with Nicki Minaj.
Oh, no, I don't think you want to get on the wrong side of Nicki Minaj.
Why, have you had beef with her?
No,
Your rap battle with Nicki Minaj.
I'm in her posse. I'm definitely... well, not literally, but if I had to choose a posse, I'd be in hers.
Really?
She seems...
terrifying.
Forceful. Yeah, terrifying.
She seems forceful.
Terrifying.
I like Gareth's description of Nicki Minaj as she seems forceful.
She's an assertive young lady.
Yes. Well, I believe Miley had made some comments to the press and she'd thrown shade.
What did she
I'm
say?
using that again.
What did she say?
Well, Miley was wearing a see-through orange visor, much like a golfer would be wearing, so she was perhaps expecting someone to throw shade. She perhaps had gone there.
Lovely work.
Ready prepped for it.
Orange.
That's the kind of material I'd expect
orange shade.
from the man voted 8th funniest joke at Edinburgh Festival, of which more later. However...
I can't wait to talk about it. I really can't.
However, Nicki said this to Miley. She said, what's up? I believe she called her an offensive word, category C swear word she used, and then she said, "What's good?" Which, what does that mean? What is this what's good
What's
thing?
good?
I think it's when, if you're in a restaurant and you ask, "What's good?" to your waitress.
Do you think there was a waiter nearby?
I think he's talking about the catering.
What's good?
Later, she's saying, "I got beef with you, you bad words." And what's nice this evening? Have you tried any of the sandwiches?
What's good? Just a waiter stopped and went, "Well, I enjoyed the trout, but..."
Also, Gareth, that gives me a lot of insight into the kind of restaurants you frequent. What are the sandwiches like?
Frank Skinner
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Kanye could have used Flavor Flav, couldn't he? Flavor Flav, like a senior figure.
Good timekeeper.
Yeah, exactly.
He's always got a watch.
He'd be punctual, wouldn't he, for the press conferences? Okay, you've got 7 minutes. Like on the West Wing.
He's a zany character, isn't he?
Yeah. I think Kanye just might have... I think him and Kim might have been watching, like, a load of House of Cards on Netflix and thought, ruthlessly ambitious couples, we could do that. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, he said a really interesting... Sorry, I interrupted you, didn't I? Go on.
No.
Say your
Continue.
thing.
Say your thing.
Say your thing. I thought you had some...
Is that what you say to Mrs. Cockrell? Go on, say your thing.
Say your thing, and then I'll answer.
Yes.
That's how he said a really interesting thing at the awards speech, I thought. And I host a lot of awards, and as you mentioned, I've recently been voted joint 8th best joke at the Edinburgh Festival this year.
Did you hear about this, Gareth?
I did, yes.
Oh, good, because you're about to hear about it quite a lot.
I think I saw it in the
I think there's going to be a weekly segment on the show now called When I Were Voted 8th Best Joke at Edinburgh Festival.
I cannot quite believe how much coverage it gets for a competition that I did not enter, and it just...
Yeah, that happens if you don't stop talking about it, Al.
Landed upon... No, honestly. Anyway, Kanye... took some time to talk about awards in his speech on Sunday, saying, "I still don't understand awards shows. I don't understand how they get 5 people who worked their entire life, won sold records, sold concert tickets to stand on a carpet and for the first time in their life to be judged on a chopping block and have the opportunity to be considered a loser. That's what he said.
Yeah, but I like
What's
him.
that an awards do? He said, I don't understand this whole thing. He then went on to point
Also,
out...
why is he talking about a chopping block? He's gone a bit Iron Chef. That's a different show. He's getting confused.
But this is, I think this is the point that he was making.
Mm.
He then went on to point out how upset he was to see Justin Timberlake and CeeLo lose Grammy Awards over the course of their careers.
Yes.
Kanye, on the other hand, has won 21 Grammy Awards. So I wonder if there was just a slight bit of him going, God, some really good people haven't won these.
Yeah.
And I've won 21 of them, so I must be really, really good. Like, there must be a bit of it. But
I enjoyed all that, but
Uh-huh.
I believe that the only reason you got onto that was because it was a segue into discussing your award.
Well, I didn't get an award. There was no award.
But what did you get there? We should establish, Gareth. You knew this? So Alan was at the Little Edinburgh Festival recently,
World's biggest arts festival.
and it's for the arts types.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows on.
Yeah.
A lot of shows.
And thanks, we've established what the Edinburgh Festival is. And Alan, whilst he was there, in his show, part of his show, he was voted the 8th best joke in the Edinburgh Festival.
Yeah. It's a
joint
competition put on by a television channel
Yeah.
with the same name as our dear Prime Minister.
Yes.
Can I just say,
think we're
when
allowed
you
to
said
say, Dave.
it's a competition, you made it sound a bit childish then.
Yeah, but also you would enter a competition. I didn't enter it. I
he
just did
didn't.
my show.
Are we allowed to say what the joke was?
Well, I'll
go
let
on.
me slowly
Oh, go
walk
on.
you through this. Yes, we can.
Okay.
But I have to retell it how I feel like I.
Yes, we can. You've got a bit campaign slogan, can
Do you know what? I think they misquoted my joke, and it got
didn't.
joint 8th. Yeah, they misquoted it, and here's the brutal truth. I think they slightly improved how I was telling it.
Well, I'll tell you what, shall we be the judge of this? So tell us how it was originally and tell us what they said.
How I was doing it in the show was something like, oh, I've been married 14 years. I knew my wife was a keeper from the start. On our first date, she wore massive gloves, right?
Very fine work.
Well, you say that. But they somehow
Gareth
tidied it
clap
up.
when
I
they tell
can't-
jokes.
Okay.
They tell jokes.
Yeah.
So putting Gareth into the non-comedian category there, a bit harsh.
Not the first person to do that. And actually, the normal thing you do after a joke is laugh, hopefully.
Exactly.
Clapping is just filling silence. Thank you very much.
That's
Honestly.
where I've been going wrong. Okay, so that was...
Yeah, they tidied it up slightly.
How did they tidy it up?
I can't remember exactly. It's a long time since I read it.
All
but,
right, I'm glad we waited for that then.
I think I like the way you did it, though, because
I
that's
do.
nice.
it suggests... Because you didn't do it as a one-liner.
Yeah, well,
You do it, you're conversational. They made it into a one-liner as if
They
you had
obviously
said...
have
I'm finding
to.
this a bit awkward here, analysing the joke.
They have to. Oh, well, I was hoping to do it the whole of the next link, so I'm very happy to...
Okay, everyone, back in a bit.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
You can text us, we should say, on 81215 this morning. And don't just say, where's Frank? Well, you can say that. That's probably what they say. It's fair enough. Do you know what? I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I wonder. It's covered in mud, I've told you.
I'd like to know where he is. Al, we need to know more about the moment when you found out you won 8th best joke at the Edinburgh Festival.
Well, I would question the word win, but...
Okay.
But hey, I believe, you know, I'm a big goal setter, a huge goal setter, aren't I? I'm one of those guys like a Californian. I'm all about goals, and I
Yes.
like them to be smart goals.
Are you running for president? Is this what you were building to?
That's going to be my next big goal. I'm not setting small goals, but I remember saying to you in July,
I think there might
Emily,
be some birth issues there.
I think in
I don't think
July-
anyone from Murfield can run for president of the United States.
Technically, I'm originally from Glasgow, and hey, Obama's the president, isn't he? And you know, he ain't even got no birth certificate. As he?
I don't know. I'm uncomfortable.
All right,
with
Mr.
where-
Mr. Redneck.
Suddenly the political colours are being nailed to the mast.
Yeah.
Alan's gone a bit bloodhound and pickup
I
truck.
think he's going to be a Republican.
Mainly because I want to talk to you about my 8th best joke.
Okay.
I was going to pretend that in July I had said to you that what I want from my Edinburgh Festival was to be joint 8th best joke of the Edinburgh Fringe, which is not a goal that anybody sets for themselves, is
Oh,
it?
you
I mean,
dent.
Joint 8th, not 8th, joint 8th.
Oh no! Did you share the award?
Shared the award with
Who
the
with?
excellent
And
Simon
can I just say,
Munnery,
how many
very
of the
funny.
ones before you were joint ones? Because that's pushing you
No, I don't
far
think,
down,
I
isn't
don't.
it?
Alan?
I haven't really perused the list properly, but I don't think there were any joints.
So you were the first joint.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. But let me tell you, there are some terrible jokes on that list, and
You say, let me tell you, I wouldn't if I were you. You've got to go back there
I know
again.
there are really awful jokes on it, and
Yeah, but Al, you can't leave a scorched earth policy in this life.
I'm not worried about it because they have to pick
Gareth.
the jokes that they want to be good in print. Are
Right.
you bleeding, Emily? Are you all right?
No, I'm just. I'm bleeding.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Interesting.
goodness.
You've got a small mark on your wrist. I should just make it clear
Yeah,
where the blood's gushing from,
like
ladies and
dripping from a
gentlemen.
neck. yeah.
How are
Emily.
people at home going to cope with that information?
scratched
Emily,
her
are you
elbow.
bleeding?
Are you bleeding? And then what? Meanwhile, here's Whitesnake.
Yeah.
Emily's bleeding.
Let's go to a song. I hope to be with you in 3 minutes. Oh, it's cold. It's cold.
Emily, are you bleeding? Lynyrd Skynyrd, Sweet Home Alabama. I am bleeding, but I should say, please don't panic. I'm sure none of you are.
Very minor surface wound.
I
Is
think it might be an insect bite and it's got out of control.
Oh, we
goodness.
shouldn't bite insects.
There you go.
Like the day of the Triffids.
How extraordinary. Could someone get me some first aid?
Gauze.
paraphernalia?
Do you want gauze?
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Anyway, sorry, Alan. Sorry to steal your thunder.
Well, I feel like we were talking about my success and you just started self-harming and to get attention from the other side of the... And I say success in inverted commas. I'll tell you what this, though. I mean, I've never been joint 8th joke at the
No.
Edinburgh Fringe before, but that can be very widely misinterpreted. Some guys that I know describe me as... in the top 10 comedians in the world. That was their take on it.
Yeah.
I didn't mean
said-
to laugh so loud at that.
A guy said, "Oh, I read those.
Gareth, are you out of your mind?
I read those top 10 jokes at the Edinburgh Festival list." He said it to me, and I said, "Yeah, I was one of them." And he went, "Oh, was one of them you?" I mean, they hadn't credited each joke; they just done it. And then I, on the day, told my wife, "Oh, I'm in the joint 8th in the top 10 best jokes of the Fringe." And she went, "Oh, which one for?" Having already seen the show, and
Yeah.
she enjoyed it. She loved the show. And I told her which one, and she went, "They're always rubbish, those top 10 jokes, aren't they?"
She didn't.
She did.
She didn't.
She
Go.
did. I mean, what a review.
Wow.
There's the
I don't know
brutal
what to
truth.
say, really. I was
Emily,
really...
you're bleeding harder.
I was actually really pleased for you, though, Al.
That's nice.
I
Thank
thought it
you.
was a nice thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Will
not-
it change your life?
Yeah, I think it might. It's certainly
Okay.
changed this link, hasn't it? So,
Yeah.
in some
My-
way, it's
my
footsteps
blood's
in the
changed
sand,
the
isn't it?
link.
Yeah.
I like the idea of you not knowing, though. They just award it to you, so it's not like you enter it.
No, not at all. The first I knew about it was I got a text from it, and actually, I'd lost all my phone numbers before going to Edinburgh. So a good friend of
Still
mine,
my phone number's not going to be Dwight York, 3 mobiles.
a friend of mine texted me saying, "That's a great joke, mate," and suggested an improving follow-up, as many people have.
Have they?
And I said, "What joke? What are you talking about?" And that was the first I knew of it, was a friend texting saying, "That's a great joke, mate."
Oh.
I mean, I disagree with him. To be honest, there's better jokes within 2 minutes of that.
Did you like the joke, Gareth?
I did. I felt like it had been separated as a one-liner when it was not one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't think you would go up on stage. Ladies and gentlemen,
No, I would not. Although there are
I
one-liners
knew
in the
my
show.
wife was a keeper. She had big gloves on.
So he's made it even better, hasn't he?
He
How
has.
he's managed to do that.
Shall we all do the joke? Shall I do it?
And why not?
This is
Please
how
do.
I deliver it. I wouldn't be dripping with blood whilst I was doing it. Okay.
This joker's Lady Macbeth.
You're stealing my big moment. This is me. I've gone on the stage. Testing, testing. Good evening. Is that how you start?
Yeah.
Okay.
well,
I knew my wife was a keeper. She had massive gloves on. Yeah? I don't think you like mine as much, did you?
I like them all. I like them all.
clapping.
Okay.
Excellent. I mean, I feel like we've really put this to bed. It's not a joke that worked anyway. I kept it in because I like the jokes
I know.
around it. But
And if you stick with us this morning, you know what?
why don't we work our way through the whole show and see if we can kill all the jokes in it?
Well, you want to take things in isolation sometimes, that's the problem, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I'll be in isolation in a minute if this doesn't stop bleeding.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio, but you're not listening to Frank. The more observant amongst you will have noted. I'm Emily Dean. I'm standing in for Frank, and you can text the show on 81215. You can follow the show on Twitter, which is @FrankOnTheRadio, or you can email the show if you're a bit 90s. We are also joined this morning, obviously, by the Cockerel and Gareth.
Do you not do a sound effect for the cockerel?
There was
Have we got
once
one?
upon a time there was a.
Hang on.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I want to hear.
Oh, is it this one?
After
Oh, no, it's the wrong animal.
that Flight of the Bumblebee. Have you got another host called the Bumblebee?
Oh, it's a cockerel and a bee.
Now there's a cockerel fighting a swarm of bees.
I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like it.
That's your... And then, Gareth, what was your catchphrase? I think we need one this morning.
Saturday morning!
That's your catchphrase.
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
Don't get nasty.
I mean,
I haven't.
I would say that was taken in isolation from,
Yeah.
and Frank would replay it. I didn't do it live every morning, but it, you know.
No, you kept those pearls up your sleeve.
come
We
to
only got that
define
gold
me.
occasionally Saturday morning. I actually rather like Saturday morning.
Well, big news, the new dictionary's out.
Oh, great.
The new Oxford English Dictionary. If you're low on words.
I'm all right for words. I
Yeah?
like the ones I've got. What's going on in the? Is it in the OED?
Setting,
Is
yeah.
that what we're talking?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
What then, with the new one, they've always got the new words in.
Oh, the new entry. Oh, it's a bit Cyril on That's Life, isn't it? There's a new entry in the OED.
Yeah, I'm not sure about some of them. There's, Bants.
Bants, I don't
We're
think is
familiar
new,
with
is
Bants.
it? Bants, we're having it now, aren't we?
You're having it. Are you having it?
We're
I
having
don't.
some high-level bants right now, aren't we?
We're having so much bants.
Hashtag bants.
Yeah.
Bants, which I don't like. I don't like that one.
Okay. I'm
don't like that
glad we know that.
Awesome sauce.
Beg your
Awesome
pardon?
sauce.
Yes, awesome sauce. Apparently
What's that?
Awesome
that's
sauce.
an Americanism for when something's good.
Oh, you say awesome
And actually,
sauce.
Aren't
apparently
they just
so,
saying
yeah.
awesome?
No, you need to add the sauce on.
Awesome sauce.
What if you're eating sauce?
Awesome sauce.
You say this is awesome
Well,
sauce.
it depends. Also, you can say weak sauce
Oh.
when something is not good.
Oh, weak
Awesome
sauce.
sauce good. Weak sauce
Do you
bad.
say, what's good?
Awesome sauce?
Yeah.
Awesome sauce is good.
That's what Miley Cyrus should have said to Nicki Minaj.
What's bad? Weak sauce.
Yes.
What's good? The sauce. It's awesome. Awesome sauce. I was once eating with an American person and I said, oh, this is good.
Boasting.
Sorry, you're someone from
Yeah.
the 20s. I was once eating with an American person.
Very well travelled me.
Yes.
And we'd been hungry and then we'd got food. And I said, oh, this is great, isn't it? And he said, everything tastes good when it's covered in hunger sauce. Have you heard that before?
No, I haven't heard.
Everything
No, but I like that.
Oh, so
good, isn't it?
the hungriness is like a sauce that enhances the flavour
yeah.
of the food.
Yeah, I liked it as a image.
Connected to that, another word
Do you know
is...
what I'm loving? I think you two are bonding, which I'm enjoying.
Yeah, it's not as awkward as we thought.
I didn't think it was awkward.
No.
Have you guys had chats about how awkward this might be?
No, I just...
Oh, have you?
Yeah, we were on the phone last night, what, hour and a half?
Yeah.
Just an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Floods of tears I was in.
yeah.
Floods of
Well,
tears.
thanks for composing yourself, and you're
Fine. It's
soldiering
been
along, aren't
It's
you?
actually been fine.
Are you feeling okay about it,
Yeah.
Alan?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should have worn a shirt in retrospect. But this blanket you've given me is really comforting.
So
Thank you for
no,
that.
I think you're playing very well together. And what I love is, I'm in the middle.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Gareth, you were talking about the dictionary.
Yes, I was. One of the new words in the Oxford English Dictionary.
Yes.
Manspreading.
Oh, don't talk
Do
to
you-
me about manspreading.
Do you know about manspreading?
Do I
Em?
know about manspreading?
Is this population growth? Is that what this is?
No, it's the scourge of the modern age, the manspread. Are you familiar with the concept of manspreading?
I don't think I am.
Okay,
It's not just when you get older, is it?
No, although that can happen as well.
Yeah. That's...
You can spot a manspreader at 20 paces.
Oh, can I?
Yeah. They have a sort of inner arrogance and sense of entitlement.
Is this just men or manspreaders?
No, it's men. They come in all forms. You'll know them by a faded jean, sometimes a suit trouser. Yes, I use the singular on both counts. And these are the people that aren't... How would you describe them, Gareth? I would say...
So the people who on public transport spread themselves out.
They arrange their legs in a spread-eagled fashion.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
And
To disinvite others to come into the area.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's not that they're disinviting you. I never wanted to come into the area. It's more that there's no sense of personal space. And they normally have a meaty thigh, I find, the manspreader. You wouldn't be a manspreader, Alan. You're too sinewy. Gareth, you wouldn't either. You're more of a rucksack pest.
Yes.
On public transport.
Yes.
I think I've got that, yeah.
I don't spread myself out physically, but I will utilise a lot of the area around me.
We've got a lot more stuff these days, haven't we?
Yeah, well, and we as travellers, we do a lot of travelling.
As travellers? Wherever I lay my hat.
Itinerant stand-up comedians.
Yes.
Gareth and I came here in a caravan. You're aware of that, aren't you? We're travellers.
But, you see, what I don't mind about you rucksack people is that at least there's not an inner arrogance. You're just a bit chaotic. Whereas these manspreaders, they know what they're doing.
I think I might be both.
No, you're not a manspreader, Al.
How about, though, Emily, I am worried that I am an offender on public transport just because it becomes my office or the place where I live for a period of time.
Sorry, you're more tragic than Fonzie. At least he had a toilet. Your office is the tube.
Yeah. What if, for instance, I was to eat a rotisserie chicken near you on public transport?
Excellent.
Oh, why? Because I think I've seen something similar to that before. I've seen someone eating a chicken.
Yeah. What, like, because where else am I going to eat it?
Are you joking? I've seen someone eating a chicken.
Was it me?
Have you done this? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I have eaten a rotisserie chicken.
You haven't?
Like, been to Sainsbury's supermarket, economising. A whole chicken you can get for a £5.
Yeah.
And so...
But
then I've got to eat it somewhere.
You don't have to eat it on a train.
I am if I'm on the way somewhere.
I suppose so. And you do.
I saw a man once eating tuna from a can.
Excellent.
With his bare hands.
That guy.
I'm not joking. It was like a demented pingu.
That explains the tuna.
That to me sounds like a legend. That's what I mean, he's got to eat his layer of protein every 3 hours. He's probably on a very strict,
Do you know
hard
what? He's
gaining,
probably quite ripped as well. He's probably...
exactly.
Why didn't I get his number?
It's just, well, it's probably the stench.
That'll be it.
Frank
Skinner
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We're talking about manspreading on Absolute Radio this morning.
Yeah, I feel like it's slightly pejorative, the whole manspreading.
Yes. Well, then, it's not an attractive...
Just looking up pejorative in the Oxford English Dictionary.
It's like being on Countdown. It is a negative activity. It's a negative act.
Yeah, but what about woman spreading? What about women that...
I don't think women do. Do you, girls? I don't think women do that.
Oh, okay.
I'm afraid... I
feel like I'm being penalised for being gangly, because I sometimes sit next to people and, I literally can't fit my my long limbs just on my side, so I have to drape them occasionally just to have a passers-by. And
I know what you mean. You're sinewy. Sitting next to you is more like sitting next to a whippet or something.
Yeah, I'll take that.
And that's okay.
Have you ever sat next to a whippet?
We'll talk about that later. But what I do think is, I'm talking about the meaty-thighed brigade. They press up next to you. I just don't like it. They will kill again. And they do.
I've got meaty thighs. I don't like to show off. I'm not here to man boast. Is that
okay?
Is that a thing in the Oxford?
We should say, actually, if people have any public transport deal breakers, mine is having to use it. You should text us on 81215 this morning. We haven't done a texting. Normally
81215.
Is that the right texting?
Yeah.
Normally I'm very organised about the texting. I've done some great ones in the past.
Yeah,
I've done...
How much is a wall?
When were you last on a private jet?
Yeah.
I did, yes, how much does it cost to build a wall? So those are just two of my greatest hits.
Yeah. And all people could tweet us on Twitter
They could.
by doing at Frank
At
on the
Frank
radio.
on the radio.
Very good.
Yeah.
sorts
So
of
what do you
ways.
hate on public transport?
Well, I get a bit concerned about grey areas. I had this only yesterday.
Don't discriminate against the elderly.
Yeah, the greyscaping.
Can I tell you what? That
Spreading.
would have been a contender for number 9, Edinburgh Fringe jokes.
Thank you.
Joint ninth, I think.
Okay. So kind of like 18th.
I get concerned about the like who's in charge of which bit. I was on the train yesterday, and the person in the seat in front of me lowered
Is this a tube train or
a choo-choo train.
Okay, a
Choo-choo
choo-choo train, yeah.
Virgin, Pendolino,
Main
Tilton, one of those ones.
Oh, yeah.
Manchester to London.
Okay.
And the dude in front of me, he and I shared control of the same blind. You know, if the sun's in your eyes.
Yes.
He pulled the blind down, and I was plunged into darkness. I mean, all right, I'm exaggerating somewhat, but you know. And then he went to the toilet, and I thought, shall I just put it back up? Because now I'm in charge of it.
Don't
He's
say you
obviously
did.
gone. No, I didn't. But there was a bit of me that was tempted to, as it was. I'm a nice guy. I just what I did was I undid my shoelace and I garroted him from behind. Like I say, I'm a nice guy. I didn't want to cause a scene, so I just quietly executed him, and now.
But
it's
Al, I
fine.
do find with the blind, you're right. There's a lot of territorial hostility
Yeah.
in those seats. I mean, I've had laptop wars you wouldn't believe.
Oh.
It's like battleships there. When the lid of the laptops meet, I hate that.
Yeah, it's like all the monkeys trying to type Shakespeare in it.
I don't like it on a bus. That's it.
That's it.
I don't like it on a bus. There's obviously, I think we may have discussed this before on the show, but there's the bloke who talks to the driver, isn't there, at the top
yeah.
of the bus? Like it's a VIP area. All right, mate, yeah, just go through, you're good. Yeah, you're good. I don't need you. Who are you? You're not in a uniform. You've just decided that the driver's your best mate, and now you're talking to him. So I don't like that man, and it is normally a man, let's be honest. And I don't like people that suddenly shout out, driver, driver, like it's Downton Abbey. Don't say driver. It's not a chauffeur. Anyway, that's my material on buses.
Excellent. Good work. If you've got any material on buses, text 81215 or tweet us on at Frank on the Radio. This is Absolute Radio.
Wow, what's happened to you?
Someone's
I don't know,
taking
it was
over.
like, for a moment, I felt possessed by the spirit of.
Are you drunk with are you drunk with power, Gareth?
I'll tell you. Oh, we'll come back to it.
Oh, another one who's drunk with power.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We're talking this morning on Absolute Radio, and I should say you can text us on 81215.
Oh, and they have.
Oh, they have
Oh,
they?
they
Well,
have.
we're talking specifically about what your sort of public transport deal breakers are. As I already established, mine is having to use it.
Well, you've opened the floodgates here.
Yes.
We've had a lot of people that work on floodgates. No, we haven't. We've had texts from 720. I saw a man brushing his teeth on a train. He swallowed. Now, that gentleman, points for hygiene, he's brushing his teeth. Bad points for logic, because there are
Yes.
toilets on trains where he could have used water.
Yeah.
Nobody should know that you've done that. Or maybe the most is the person sitting next to you where you come back and they go, oh, minty. Like they smell that you're minty.
Yeah.
But that could have been done secretly, couldn't it? Whereas
I love that you think everyone behaves as if they're in an advert. Oh, minty. Also,
she's going to love your onion breath, like kind of thing.
or you're in an episode of EastEnders. Who knows? Do you know what? I've done that. I'm going to fess up.
Brush your teeth on your train?
On the
actual
train? I've done
seats,
it in the street.
In the passenger bit.
I've walked down the street with a toothbrush.
With paste on it?
Yes, with paste.
Did you have a glass of water?
No.
Did you have a
Wine?
hose pipe?
A glass of wine?
Water.
Who needs water?
I'm
Well,
I have
quite a lot of people in the world, Emily.
I have a phobia about not having clean teeth. So I'm forced to get my toothbrush out at regular intervals.
Right.
Okay, but this isn't about me.
With paste.
See, I have
You carry toothpaste and a toothbrush, and in the street,
I'm going
you will
to
put the toothpaste on the toothbrush and then brush your teeth.
show you the contents of my bag in a minute.
No. I'm bleeding now.
And you'll see, I have a toothbrush and toothpaste in there.
See, I've quite a big problem with public grooming. I think the most is maybe...
So I see.
Pop a bit of wax in your hair
And
at
private,
most.
apparently.
Yeah.
No, that's lovely.
But these people that, you know, sat on the quiet coach and they're clipping their toenails or something, do it in,
Oh, I don't like
do it in
that.
your bathroom after a nice bath when they're all soft and, you know, you don't need to hear
God.
ka-dung, ka-dung. That's honestly what happened to me once on the quiet coach. Very loud.
Someone was cutting their toenails.
Yeah, talons, it sounded like.
I draw the line at waxing of any
Toenails
sort.
or fingernails?
Toenails.
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 So they had their shoes and socks on.
Okay.
And I saw a guy flossing at the traffic lights in his car. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't
Wow.
it?
Any more texts that we had in this morning?
We've had Gatwick travellers being thoughtless with their suitcases on the train.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't like the big suitcases.
do you not?
I've got-
I like the specific gripe against Gatwick travellers,
Yeah.
not any other. The travellers at Kennedy Airport are fine.
That's Brian Carr, by the way, that tweet was from.
Oh, just
I should have done it all
FYI.
at the same time. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's not
What?
a mistake you made.
Okay.
We don't refer to people by their names. We refer to them by the last 3 digits of their mobile.
But it was
I
a
thought that was the thing you started.
Yes.
it was a tweet.
Ah, there you go. Different.
Oh, okay. Do you know what?
What?
I'm gonna let you finish.
I am finished.
847 has texted.
He doesn't go any references. That was Kanye said that.
Oh,
What
right.
was it? 847 has texted.
Oh,
Someone,
Just got a text from my agent saying I am finished.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I would like to divert the rest of the show to people's public transport woes, gripes
Fine
with
by
other
me.
passengers. But just to the very tip of the iceberg, we've got 2 quite opposing verdicts on text messages here.
Okay.
328, Paul in Huddersfield has texted, can't stand rudeness and people play music from a speaker out loud.
Well, he won't like this show then.
No, I think he means on a train, you know, when
Oh, okay.
when the youth are playing the music from a speaker. It's never classic FM that they've got on, is it? It's always something that you
It's
think
the rap.
It's always very poor quality, yeah.
you need like that. I like that one.
Yeah.
But do you think that might be special music to listen to on public transport? Now that's what
Maybe.
I call tubes, it might be.
760, however, has texted with what I would think of as a counter opinion. Morning
Yes.
gathering. One thing I don't get is why people on trains get wound up by people talking on their mobile phones. Good use of mobile phones. I'm not talking about the quiet carriage or the first class here, just the bog standard cattle class carriage.
Right.
If I was talking to a person next to me, no one would bat an eyelid. But as I'm talking on the phone, they throw daggers. Weirdos, he finishes.
Good use of weirdos.
Yeah.
Sorry, who's that character? 760.
760.
If I may say 760, I mean, my particular objection to that is the decibel level.
Yeah.
When you're talking to someone next to you, things can remain at a reasonable pitch.
Yeah.
Discreet.
Yes. Whereas people do tend to go a bit,
Yeah.
it's 1987, I've got a car phone.
If you're on the train, it's
Yes.
like, "Oi, mate, yeah, I'm on the train, yeah, what? Oh, yeah, boy, yeah."
Yeah.
I mean, the
If you're on the
improv
train
fell
with
apart
loads
there
of money.
That was
slightly.
actually a brief reenactment of Dom Jolly's career.
Yeah.
Containing the
was-
same wit,
Yeah.
from what I can gather.
The best bit.
Yeah.
I rather enjoyed your foray into character comedy.
Thank you.
And I want to see more.
We've also had a text. Someone opposite me on a big train was plucking her chin hair. Too much, from Kate. Well, yeah, too much, and so therefore she's dealing with it. I think Kate's hit the nail on the head there. Too much. She's thought,
Yeah.
well, there's too much chin hair here, I'll pluck some.
That reminds my my wife's a teacher, Laura
Right.
is, and once she was talking
You're
about
going to say my wife's bearded.
no, but connected
Yeah,
to
my
that,
wife's got a beard.
connected to that, she was teaching the class PHSE, which is about what can happen to your bodies as you get older.
I can tell her that. Trust me, I've got type 5 on that.
And she was saying, and men tend to grow beards and hair on their faces, but women don't tend to do that so much. And their little boy said, "No, miss, that's not true. I saw an old lady on the bus, and she had, you know, the hair on the back of a pig." She had that on her face.
Oh dear.
So maybe that was the lady.
Yes.
Maybe.
10th best joke, Edinburgh Festival.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner Show. Just in case you weren't aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Emily Dean, just in case you weren't aware of that.
Hello, Emily.
Oh, you don't need to say that
Hello,
bit, but
Emily.
thank you. It's very sweet.
Hello, Gareth.
And this is Gareth and Alan.
We usually do that at the top of an hour, but we'll do it again in a minute.
No, but I like to mix it up.
I said that I would like to devote the rest of the show to texts and emails about people on
Yes.
trains, buses, public transport gripes, but I don't want to really, but
Okay.
let's just do a few more because I'm enjoying them. Good morning all. I believe it is very important to consider the feelings of my fellow passengers on public transport, so I always brush and floss my teeth straight after eating a chicken on a crowded tube train. It's the least I can do. Kind regards. And no names. An anonymous.
Oh, I love that person.
God, it's probably Ronnie Barker, isn't it? Like he sent in the sketches, didn't he?
I think that's fair enough, though.
Anonymously.
If you're going to eat the chicken,
Yeah.
you know, floss or brush.
Well, I do
That's
take
nice.
wet wipes with me
Dear.
You
in
do?
my bag. Yes, I have some wet wipes so that I can clear up after myself.
So that you can clear up.
Yeah, so that I can because there's not always a shower on the train, which is
No.
the ideal thing
Not
to have
always.
after eating a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah.
I
See,
usually
people,
need a shower.
Where do you stand on the application of makeup on the
Oh.
tube?
I never do it.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, the thing, someone texted, it's not to hand right now, but nail varnish is a bit much, I find.
Yeah, smelly, isn't it?
Oh, well, now you
No.
tell me. I regularly use nail varnish.
What, on the train?
Yeah.
Oh my
I do my
God.
makeup as
Really?
well. But can I tell you why?
Hairspray? Would you put hairspray on the train?
Hell yeah.
Oh my
Can I tell
God.
you
Would
why
you
I
do
would
that?
defend
You're a
myself?
monster.
I would...
Feet?
I defend... What's wrong with that? The reason I defend myself is that I think with makeup, I'm gradually and steadily improving your view as the journey goes on. It's much more pleasant for
a
you.
good
It's like I'm
point.
painting a really nice backdrop.
That's a good point. I've never
It's like
seen
turning
that.
back the years. People who'd be like, but I've on this train an hour and that woman is 10 years younger. You must be going back in time.
I mean, I draw the line at cosmetic procedures, but that's about all I would draw the line at, quite honestly.
I find those...
Do you draw the lines to like outline where you want the cosmetic procedures during the journey?
just with a Sharpie.
No, my surgeon does that.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner Show this morning on Absolute Radio. I'm Emily Dean. I'm standing in for Frank in his little Birmingham seat. You can text the show on 81215. You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. And we're joined this morning by the lovely Gareth Richards
Hello.
and the equally lovely Alan Cochrane.
Hello.
That's quite nice. How do you feel, you two? How's the bonding going?
It's gone fine.
Been great.
Yeah?
We're going to talk about Gareth Jeans in a bit, I think, aren't we?
Okay.
He's on the hunt.
It's going okay as speed dates go. I won't ask for my money back.
Yeah, it's over 2 hours.
I went to the theatre this weekend.
Did you, darling?
How about
so,
that?
no, I'd like
Cultured.
to hear all about that. Where did you go? What did you see?
We saw Othello,
Right.
the new production by the RSC.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that one?
Yes, I think I do know it because I am close personal friends with Othello.
What? What the?
I know
didn't
people
think
don't
you were
normally
that
say
old.
Othello.
The guy's
and raise
based
their
on.
voice. No, the actor Hugh Quashie who played Othello.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So
He's
do you know him like as a person?
Yes, of
When
course
he's not
I
being
do.
Othello.
He's one of our dearest family friends.
Wow! Did you go and see?
So be careful what you say.
Did you go
If you
backstage?
criticise his performance in any way, I will find you, I will hunt you, and I will kill you.
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, I shouldn't have told her.
Yes. So did you go and see it at Stratford?
No.
Oh, why not?
Well, we don't live very near to Stratford. Laura booked tickets for. It's an amazing new thing they do where we basically had the worst seats anyone's ever had to the theatre
Oh.
because we watched it from a cinema in Christchurch, which is near Bournemouth.
I thought you were going to say New Zealand. Then.
No, not New
That
Zealand,
was
right.
far.
Stratford was
me.
too far, but they went to New Zealand.
No, you know when they do a satellite link-up? So you
Oh,
watch
yeah.
a live theatre performance on a screen like it's a television. like it's television.
It'd be great if they could
Like
roll
a
that out
theatre.
for stand-up. I mean, that would really decrease both of our travelling time.
That seems a bit of a strange thing to do. Is it like going to a theatre and watching someone play an album?
Yeah, it was a bit weird. And actually,
Didn't you just tell me? I could have got the comps. I mean, it's not a Guardsman I know Othello. I know the Mac Daddy.
Wow. I'd say they're the worst seats, but Laura actually said it was broadcast, like people were watching in Australia, so we actually had fairly good streets. Like even if like it could have
At least
been
you're in the same country.
Yeah.
They were literally
Yes.
on the other side of the world from the show.
There were a lot of older people there. I mean, I know I live in Bournemouth, and the reputation is, but
So hang on,
honestly,
they were old by Bournemouth standards.
by Bournemouth standards, like
Well,
people were
goodness
basically the foyer was rammed, and as young people, if you arrive at a venue and you're not quite sure how it works, you don't know exactly where you pick up your tickets from.
Yes.
You style it out, don't you? You don't act terrified.
Were there incidents? What did they do?
The older people, they were not coping well with this new experience.
Oh, no.
They go, "Excuse me, are you in this queue? Which queue are you in, young man?" And people just holding tickets, wandering around, looking terrified, going, "Oh, where do I go?"
Was it like Cocoon?
It was, except without the rejuvenation.
And were
They needed to borrow some of my moisturiser.
they incontinent? Were they all fine? There's no leaking?
The toilets were busy.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
they'll
was
be
an
busy.
urgent queue.
I imagine
Yeah.
the foyer became like one of those little foot baths that you have to go
Yeah.
through to get in the swimming pool, didn't
And
it?
a lot of plastic bags. The elderly love a Plazzy bag. Don't they, though? What
Yes,
do they
they
put in
do.
there? What's in there?
A hairbrush and some sweets, I think.
Oh, Murray mints, yeah.
Yeah, a few Murray mints.
They don't take a toothbrush with them. They take a glass of water to put the teeth in during the show.
So, did you enjoy the performance?
It was fine. There was the weirdest moment.
You know she knows Othello.
I will be passing that on to my friend.
You know she knows Othello, and you know he's got a temper. You saw the end of the show, didn't you?
They
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Right, I just want to say that the play your friend was in was very, very good.
I like that you make him sound like he's about 9 years old. The play your friend was in, he was Othello, can I just say,
Yes,
at the RSC.
He was very excellent.
Not in a pantomime production of Dick Whittington.
But we were quite a long way away, as I said,
Yes.
and the experience of watching it. So you have kind of like a pundit at the start of the show.
What do you mean?
Well, you don't usually start the theatre by someone with a microphone saying, "So everyone, we're at the theatre." But that's
You
what
have
they
an
have
MC?
to. Yeah, you have an MC for the
You don't.
theatre.
Right.
Yeah, and they kind of talk about what's going to happen. It's like Match of the Day, but a theatre.
Was it like a
good.
warm-up
Play
man?
of
Is it
the
like
day.
Ian Royce from the X
I
Factor?
could do that. I used to be a warm-up man, but I could do
Well, so did Gareth.
theatre stuff. Yeah,
Very briefly.
yeah.
So that was a bit weird. And also, this is the question.
So what does he do? Does he do it to
It's a
sort of
lady.
warm you up? Oh, I
It's a
beg your
lady.
pardon.
All right. Hang on. It's
They're
a warm-up-
allowed to talk nowadays and everything.
Warm-up lady.
Not on my time, they're not. Not on my dollar. So she comes on. What's
Yes.
she wearing?
We're. I mean, I didn't check the labels.
leopard skin onesie.
Is she wearing a suit? Is she smart?
It was a bit
She's got any
like.
of those ears on? You know those sexy ears that the girls have? Those bunny ears?
Don't be disgusting.
None of those?
What was she wearing?
Babe Station.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for your call.
We're waiting.
In the
for
meantime,
Othello.
here's Othello.
To be fair, in Bournemouth, she was probably wearing a bag.
You can betray me anytime.
Feeling jealous? You will be if you don't call me on 0906.
The beast with two backs all night long.
Okay,
Anyway,
anyway.
yeah, sorry, this is a bit much.
Always has to push it, Al.
I'm sorry. The big question about watching a satellite link-up of a play is: do you applaud? Because there was a very awkward
Yeah, what's the point?
at the end, where some people went, and then were like, "Oh, this is stupid."
Yeah.
They can't
No.
hear us because it's the whole reason why you're clapping is so the person can hear you.
Yeah.
But if a man claps in Christchurch, but there's no one there to hear it,
Yeah. Has he clapped at all?
does he make a sound?
Well, did you clap? Because I will be passing it on to my friend Hugh.
I think I did one clap, and then it was But they were the two young people in the whole place were sitting behind me. Two young gentlemen who were clearly big Shakespeare fans.
They were 45.
Yeah.
Saying, I don't like how he made Iago seem sympathetic where you felt for him. I don't want my Iago to be sympathetic. I want to feel like he's bad. And then he said, oh no, I quite liked Iago being sympathetic. I think that really humanised him. And then the other one, and I know you're going to tell me off, but can I talk about Desdemona's shoes?
I like these people.
Yeah,
Maybe that could be on that Babe
to
Station.
chat with them. But,
If you want to hear more about Iago being sympathetic, I'm waiting for your call now.
Emily, I really don't think you should talk like that on the radio. Because there have been men since we very started doing this show.
Yes.
There have been requests from gentlemen for you to talk in that way, and I'm worried that we don't want that audience. You don't want that audience.
Yeah, you say that, but
Absolute have said we've really got to chase the ratings.
and also it depends what sort of Benjamins they're offering.
Yeah, true.
You know, the price is right.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I should say, while I was away in Edinburgh, I actually listened to the show and listened to the best of last week. Really enjoyed it.
Oh,
Really enjoyed it.
that's nice
Honestly,
to know, isn't it?
It cheered me right up because I think maybe I'm guilty
You
of.
sound like one of those pensioners in the Othello audience. Cheered me right up.
I think maybe
that's very
listening-
nice.
Were
of
you
to
worried
say.
I'd be good and then it cheered you up?
No, not at all.
Can we play
Is that
some
what you
music?
Not at all, Gareth.
Anything will do.
To be absolutely honest, that thought never troubled me. No, that worry never came back.
Genuinely, can we play some music? I don't mind what it is. I
Emily's
just want to get
bleeding
out
again.
of here.
Do you know what happened though? The best of.
There will be blood.
The best of
There
was,
has been.
best of really perked me up because I think what
Was I
happens
in
is I think you might have been. Yeah.
I was like, wow.
I think you might have been quite a lot when I went for a shower and I came back and it was back to
Oh my
being me.
God.
But the best of was really good because there was lots of funny bits, whereas I think I remember all the terrible links and the travel to and from the show. So I think I should listen to the best of more often. Really good.
Terrible link.
Really good. But early on...
Would you like a return to passive-aggressive land?
Early on, when I was at the
Population U?
festival, I was listening to. It might have even been the first week that I was away, and I heard you talking about late reviews of things. Was
Yes.
it Keith Richards had reviewed something, and then
Yes.
you all started doing your funny late reviews. Oh, I enjoyed that. And you know what? I was listening to it in the flat that I'd rented in
Anything,
Edinburgh.
even China Crisis, I would listen to right now. Just get me out of here.
This is a late review in itself. Isn't it?
Yeah, it was 4 weeks ago. And I was listening to it and I thought, oh, I'm reading Seneca's Letters from a Stoic right now and really enjoying it. I should text it. I felt like one of the readers. I felt like one of them, the normal
And in a way
people.
you were.
Yeah, I was really normal for the
Seneca's
month.
Letters from a Stoic.
Yeah, that's what I'm into.
How was it?
It's good. I'm enjoying it. I've still got some of them to read, but, jumped about a bit with
If
other
you
reading.
want to hear more Seneca's Letters from the Stoic,
Oh, don't do
call
your
me
sexy
now.
voice. Honestly, the text message
I'm
exploded.
waiting to hear your Seneca news.
If you can stay stoic after me, I'd be surprised.
Oh dear, this is horrible, isn't it? No, but you're absolutely right. We were talking about Keith Richards.
And he's back in the news with...
He is, because we
with-
should say he was moaning about the Beatles, wasn't he? He was
He was
saying
moaning then.
Sgt. Pepper's were...
Yeah, which is a
He said it
shame,
was
'cause
rubbish.
A mishmash of rubbish.
I think it's a good album. I'm going to have to disagree with him. However,
What?
he's now come out and had a go at Metallica and Black Sabbath, saying that they were great jokes.
Yes.
I didn't see them in the top 10 list
No, exactly.
of these great jokes at the Edinburgh Festival this year.
Yeah.
Joint 8th.
He did say that, and he was also laying into rappers,
Yes.
as he called them. He said it's for tone deaf people. All they need is a drum beat and people yelling over each other.
That's right.
What does he say next? Turn that racket down.
I love the fact
94.
He's 71 and
Yeah.
he's just properly turned it. I think he probably had his rap spelt with a silent C. Like, he probably did that thing, you know.
Imagine a 71-year-old man who doesn't like rap.
Yeah. It's easier to imagine that than a 71-year-old man who does like rap, isn't it? In that guy,
Also,
you'd be interested
I
in
think
meeting.
rap is less of a genre now and more an essential element in all music. It's like not looking pianos or something. I don't think Keith quite grasps that.
He said, rap, so many words, so little said.
I mean, he could replace talking there. Talking, so many words, so little said. I mean,
Talkies, he'll
we're on
be
commercial radio.
criticising talkie movies next.
Yeah.
Why do they have to have those voices? But Black Sabbath and... I mean, come on, Ozzy Osbourne's moved on as a reality star now. He's not even in that band.
It's interesting. I wonder, though, because as Alan and I are comedians, Emily... I don't know if we've met. I just wanted to introduce
The most sinister thing anyone's ever said to me.
Strange level of penetrating eye contact there as well.
Why did that sound like
It sounded like a statement and a challenge. Defy me. I promise you. I will end you.
It's my new positive NLP
Do you know
work
what
I'm
that
doing.
was?
I am a
Is that all the
comedian.
Kanye West you like?
I'm going to describe that as the closest I've ever come to feeling like I was about to be kidnapped.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Emily, we've had a text from 753 and we've been talking about pet hates on public transport.
Yes.
Pets I hate on... Don't bring a pet on.
No.
Women doing their makeup on the tube. Get up earlier.
I like get up earlier.
I've got a lot on. Sorry.
I know,
No, I
can
don't
see
agree
it.
with that.
Probably one of the...
But anyway, what I was saying...
Because
Alan and I, we're talking about Keith Richards.
I'll tell you what you said.
Complaining
You said,
about,
Emily,
other apps.
Alan and I are comedians.
Yes.
And then there was
Well, sometimes
silence.
people aren't sure when they listen.
No.
To me.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah. I didn't want to lump you in on that.
yeah, I was feeling a bit dragged in.
But what's interesting, because Keith Richards is a rock star, and so him and all his rock star mates, they're all like in the same group. Like, as comedians,
Yes.
we all know comedians who are extremely successful, and they might not have been our choice for the comedian that was going to become really successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not going to mention any names
Please don't.
or give clues.
No.
But it's interesting that Keith Richards, he
Yes.
thinks like Metallica and Black Sabbath
Black
are
Sabbath.
a joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
they're
Do you think they
jokes.
just were a bit rude to him at a buffet at a festival or something once, and he's held the grudge for 20 years, and now he's going...
He's
No,
getting...
why not?
He's sort of getting further and further back, though, isn't he? He's going to be laying into George Formby next. I'll tell you what, I think that riff on A Glimpse of Stocking was really lame.
He doesn't even like Mick Jagger very much.
He doesn't.
that
What was
true?
he saying about Mick Jagger? He said he's a snob.
He
Did he really?
He said he's a
Yes.
snob.
And what else did he say?
He says his daughter, he said, I'll reinforce that. He says his daughter, Georgia May, was sitting around in my room, which I'm worried about. And she said, oh, you know what Dad's like, he's such a snob.
Right. That's
To
what I
back
think
up
the historians call empirical evidence, isn't it? It's certainly a first-person account. Oh, my God, my history GCSE's coming back to me. Brilliant.
I think that someone needs to educate Keith. We need to buy him some, now that's
Bit
what I
late
call
for that.
music, vols 1 through 105, on cassette, obviously. Yeah, but then you know what? Why does he need to listen to, the current output? He's got no call for Jay-Z
No.
and these people.
Unless it comes up on his Sonos or a shuffle that he wasn't
He hasn't got
expecting.
Sonos.
You don't think he's got a Sonos?
No.
He'll have got one free.
He's got one of those old school stereos, hasn't he? Surely he
He's
has.
got one of those bars where the doors open so you can get in.
Nice.
That's what he's got.
We've got just one first-person account
Yes.
that I might bring to your attention. I think this will probably close the things that happened on trains link that
Okay.
we've been running.
That's it.
One I will always remember was travelling home from London on a rather packed and cramped train where I was sitting next to a young lad listening to his music through his earphones, almost certainly turned up to the max. I could tell everyone around me was getting fed up with this, except the old lady sitting directly opposite him. But then she calmly opened her handbag, rummaged around for a minute, and cool as a cucumber, leant over and cut the lad's earphones with the nail scissors she had pulled from her handbag. I tried but failed dismally to hold the giggles in.
Can I just say, I love that woman.
Respect is due to that old lady.
I'm gonna start doing that
Oh,
myself.
that'd be great.
I'm terrified.
It's not always going to be headphones either.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Oh, I tell you what I haven't told you about this week. My GCD.
Your what?
My GCD.
Oh,
You
the
got your
test
exam
results
results?
came back.
Yeah, I'm in the clear. It's fine. So, congratulations to you and to you.
Yeah.
No, that's what I call a grumpy cab driver.
Oh, you got a grumpy cab driver?
Yeah, I often get a GCD.
I've had one the other day. Let's
They're
see
a
how bad.
nightmare.
Oh, how
But
bad
you know,
was it?
well, you know what I've decided? I used to get in and I'd have sort of anger and grim resignation. Now, it's a challenge. I want to kill them with kindness. I want to actually make them angry with my kindness. So, I got one recently. I had a bad vibe, as he had a grubby dividing screen.
Oh.
And that just suggests a sort of abandon hope, all ye who enter here approach to life. He also had one of those yellowing paper signs saying cash only, 2 exclamation marks, full caps lock.
All right.
What does that tell you?
He hasn't thought about the design very much.
Yeah.
Of his
No, it was a rhetorical question,
Cash-
Gareth.
oh, right.
You didn't have to literally answer it. It's not blockbusters.
He can't use clip art.
No, it just says it implies an aggression, and I also think
Yes.
in 2015 it's a slightly unreasonable assertion. No cash. Well, what do
Yes.
you want? It's like having a sign saying luncheon vouchers only.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got in. I said Bethnal Green, please. It's a long story. I said Bethnal Green, please. He said, you what?
Oh my goodness.
I said Bethnal Green, please. And then I thought, no, I'm actually... He said, you what? Again. I said, I love that expression. It's so cute.
That's nice.
I said, cute? How patronising.
Yeah, that is patronising.
He didn't like me. He sighed. He said, I don't know where this is. How do I know where this is?
Doesn't know where
know-
Bethnal Green is.
I said, let's find it together. Like I went Balamory presenter.
That's great.
So I
Because
said,
at that point I would have said, you sure this is your car? You know this is a taxi, don't you?
I said, let me look it up on my GPS. He said, you what? I thought, this is a catchphrase.
Yeah, yeah.
He's going to be saying this all the time.
Do they still do the knowledge? Because it doesn't sound like that went too well for him.
Well, he then said, I started trying to talk to him, and he didn't respond. I said, I'm having trouble hearing you, darling. I called him darling.
Did you really?
Yes. He said to me, that's because my intercom's broken.
Right.
So I replied, I said, I'm so sorry to hear that. He said, I'm not. It's been broken for 12 years. I mean, it wasn't going very well.
Yeah, I mean, he's not cracking through his to-do list.
I think I might have responded to that amazing 12 years, I might have said. I think he thought I was absolutely hat-stamped by this point. I really think he did. But as he got angrier and angrier, and the nicer I got, he mellowed.
Oh.
I could tell he was mellowing. Because by the end of the journey, he actually said to me, I suppose you want a receipt with that. And I thought we'd
nice.
actually come on a bit.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But I think that's... The moral of the story is I've decided, just kill them with kindness. It's the way.
Nice. Did he give you a hug at the end?
He tried to.
Good for him.
Maybe you should just get into taxis from now on and just say, so, what's good? Surprise me.
I'm certainly not going to ask them to surprise me.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
This is your final show with us.
Yeah, for maybe just a little bit.
Likes to keep the door open.
They
This
might
is
have me
awkward.
back one day, maybe.
Just going to look through some
I mean, I'm
contract
free.
stuff.
Let me just look up my diary. Let me just... No, I mean, you know, if...
Gareth still has a file of facts.
If, God forbid, anything should happen to either of you. I mean, Emily's losing a lot of blood today.
Are you going to say Emily's losing her look?
Would that have offended you more than...
Of course it would. I'd rather be dead than ugly.
No, it's been a pleasure hanging out.
Do you know, I've really enjoyed it.
It's been nice.
Do you know?
been a
I've really enjoyed it. Just interesting the prefix, you know,
Yeah.
makes it somehow.
Yeah, it's been a nice little reconnect.
And the tone of surprise.
I surprised myself, but you know, it's been lovely having you. We would always have you back.
Oh, thank you.
Frank will be back next
Got any
week.
dates
No.
I should put in?
None of
Right.
your business. That's between me and Tinder.
What are you doing later?
I beg your pardon.
No, I need to, you know, I need to buy some jeans, Emily, is the thing. And
Oh, do you?
are a professional fashion person
Yes, I am.
and co-host, today host of a radio show.
No, I don't
But,
host the Today programme. That would be a very different show if I hosted the Today programme. Oh my God, I can't believe what you've been saying.
What?
Oh,
Where
you want
should
some
I
fashion
buy? Where
advice?
should I buy jeans from, Emily?
Well, I would
And
say not where you were probably going to buy them would be my first piece of advice.
Oh.
Yeah. I would say, what are you thinking? I mean, are you thinking
Budget-wise?
supermarket? Yeah.
Well under £100. I mean, I'm upping it to £100 because I'm talking to you, but between 100 and 0. How would you?
I can't help you.
I think the short answer is save up. Save up and then start this chat again.
Oh no!
Come back to me when we're talking proper money. Okay. It's been so lovely having you both. I was going to say on the show, like it's my show. It's not my show. We've missed you this week, Frank. But Gareth, thank you so much for the last few weeks. It's been amazing. And Frank is back next week. Some of you will be relieved to hear, but it's been lovely standing in for him. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Gareth. I'll be seeing you.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.